Welcome back to Words of the Mothers. Still to come is wine time, but first, let's rejoin our chat with Mel. When did you realise I could do this full time? Because you were working as a brand manager before, were you?
Yeah, I was working for a brand agency.
Yeah.
Loads of travelling. I think in the year before I went on maternity leave, I was travelling about 80,000 miles a year. Mm-hmm. Crazy hours and, quite stressful job. Yeah. And a little bit soulless as well. Like I enjoyed it, but there were times when I just thought, why am I actually like killing myself to do this? And so I started doing this mum runs while I was on maternity leave, and then that was in the November. I went back to work in the January, and then by the June, this mum runs had really taken off, and I was struggling to fit it in around my job, and I actually got offered redundancy. Oh wow! Yeah, it was like a proper sliding doors moment where I just thought, lots of people kind of really upset and sad about their jobs being at risk, but I sort of did this Benny Hill jump out of the door. Brilliant! Yes.
I'd love to see what a Benny Hill jump is.
I'll do one later.
Yeah. So how do you juggle everything? I know this is something that I should stress. Like women get asked this all the time as mums, like, how do you juggle it? Motherhood and work. Yeah. And obviously dads don't necessarily get asked that question. Yeah. But it's because often when you have been the one with your kids during maternity leave and so forth, they kind of do need you more. Yeah. Arguably.
I think there's the mental load for mums as well. Like even if you've actually got quite a hands-on partner, it's typically the mum that's thinking about the dentist appointment, the jabs, the hairdressers, the holiday bookings, the school reports, the parents' evenings, and juggling all of that. Yeah. Is there's a lot going on in your head at any one time.
If I say to my wife, did you do I don't know, unload the dishwasher, but you didn't tell me. She didn't tell you. It's sitting there. Oh, well, I won't start. I won't pull at that thread. Go on. How do you feel about that term? I hate it. Mumpreneur.
I literally hate it. Because it feels like it comes with a bit of a pat on the head. Yeah. Like it's a hobby business and it's just something you're doing to make a bit of pocket money.
Yeah. It's kind of with I started blogging on maternity leave and you obviously started this mum runs with the same sort of mindset where your brain needs to engage, it wants to do something and you're looking for, especially if you have worked, obviously being a mum is working, but if you did have a career before that, you tend to go looking for stuff. But I can't bear that kind of, that the media have to make sense of it.
I know.
So they have to give it this rubbish label.
Slightly patronising name. Yeah. I know, I literally hate it. In fact, I've been asked to enter a few awards things over the last couple of years for that category, Mumpreneur of the Year, and I always would say no.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I just can't bear it.
That'll learn them.
Yeah. Oh, change the name.
Yeah, grow
just
up.
Remove the name, you don't even need the name.
Stop being so lazy, change the name. Yeah. I'm a mum who happens to work. So where else are you thinking of? Well,
we have had literally hundreds of inquiries from around the country, and one of the hardest things has been saying no for now because there's so much interest. Yeah. But because we've worked really hard on the experience we give people when women turn up, because quite often they're women who haven't exercised for a long time and are feeling really nervous. Like we want that experience to be really good. Yeah. And so if we roll out too fast, then we can't manage that experience that well.
Yeah, and that's when the reputation's one of the best things about this mum runs.
So for every one run that we launch, we need a team of 5 volunteers. Wow. It's just in South Bristol, for example, we have on a Wednesday night we have 4 runs. So for each of those runs, we had to train a team of 5. Wow. So the workload and the admin that goes into organising it is massive.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so the intention is to roll out across the country, but we just need a little bit of funding to help us do that. Well, you need an investor. Yeah. So anyone watching? Yeah. Anyone with money in their pocket? Yes, please.
Yeah. I've got a £5, you can have that.
Thank you.
Mel Bound, it's been lovely meeting you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you are very welcome.
Clemmy. Formula, friend or foe?
Grab a wine glass, grab a packet of Monster Munch because, hallelujah, it's wine time with Ruth Wiles of Clifton Wine School.
Hello.
Hello, Ruth. You have supermarket reds for us this week.
I do, yes.
I've been looking forward to this.
I thought you might have.
Yes.
These are all under £10. Really good value for money. Full-bodied in some cases, lighter in others, but good staple wines depending on your taste.
Oh, cow.
Yes.
Wait, where are we going to start first?
We're going to start with the lightest, which is the Pinot Noir.
Okay.
It's also the cheapest.
The cheapest?
The cheapest, yes.
Which
So
you've said before, that's quite unusual, isn't it?
it is unusual, but then this is an Aldi wine, and Aldi do sometimes just manage to churn out something really good quality at a very low price, and I'm not completely sure
Aldi.
how they do it.
Yeah.
But yes, it's light,
Oh, lovely.
it's fruity.
I'm going in.
Going in.
I'm supposed to be sniffing all
We have a Pinot Noir lover.
Yes.
Easy to drink and smooth. It's not the world's finest Pinot Noir,
It's lovely.
but it's really good. It's under £6, which is very unusual for Pinot Noir.
Yes.
And this is from New Zealand as well, which after France is arguably the best region for producing Pinot Noir in the world. Got exactly the right climate and exactly the right weather conditions.
I've said it before, but it's like you do it for a living.
I know.
I learn. That's amazing. That's and honestly, that is absolutely delicious. I love that.
Good. Our second wine is the Tapa Roja, which is from Marks and Spencer's.
Tapa Roja.
Roja. So it does this little trick that I've noticed a lot of Spanish wines doing on the label is putting the word roja, which essentially just means red,
Yes.
in Spanish on the label, and that makes people think it's a Rioja. And
Yeah.
Rioja is a very powerful brand. People know, they recognise Rioja, they know they like it. This is not a Rioja, it's from southern Spain. Rioja is in the north, and this is from a grape variety called Monastrell, which is not a grape that they use in the production of Rioja.
That is interesting because you do see that and you do think
Quite a lot,
Yeah.
yes. But to be fair, it's a delicious, delicious wine. So this is from a region called Yecla, a grape variety known as Mourvèdre in the southern part of France, and it ripens like a charm in this southern part of Spain. Spain is very, very hot by the time you get to the south,
Yeah.
as you probably are aware, but in grape growing terms, it's a hot climate as opposed to most of the rest of Europe.
Okay.
So very ripe, very rich, quite heavy. I think the alcohol content is likely to be high. Yes, 14%.
Oh,
So not a delicate wine,
oh, that's lovely.
but very rich.
Oh,
Yum.
yes. Where was that from again? Sorry.
So this is from Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah.
It's under £10. It's an absolute bargain. Of
It's delicious.
wine. Good. Glad
Yeah.
you think so.
Do you like the emphasis?
Delicious.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Ruth.
You're welcome.
So, our final one, Ruth.
So the final wine is actually for someone that has a little bit, perhaps a slightly sweeter tooth, slightly sweeter taste in wine. It's pretty dry, but it's got ever such a tiny little bit of sweetness left in it. So it's made from a blend of grapes in California, but one of the major grapes in the blend is Zinfandel. And Zinfandel is known, yes, you probably would recognise Zinfandel from the white Zinfandel,
Yeah.
which is when Zinfandel, it's the same grape, it's just that they've turned it into a rosé wine instead of a red wine. So when they make red wines, it actually is used to produce quite deep, intensely coloured, full fruity wines as well. But it's exactly the same grape variety.
Okay. Deep.
Deep.
Deep. Deep.
Smells like raisins and jammy fruit.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever had a sweet red. And but what's nice,
Uh-huh.
and I think I'm learning, I can see why you're good at your job. It's got like a vanilla finish.
It does. It's really smooth.
Yeah.
So it's easy to drink. It's, if you like, if someone has been used to drinking perhaps Echo Falls and Blossom Hill, things that are labelled as soft fruity reds, for example, they're not the highest quality of wine, but they're wine, it's fine. This is like a step up from there, but you're not going all the way as far as like the fully dry style of wine.
No.
It's a
Okay.
halfway house between the two. But it's really good value for money. It comes in at £8.
It's really good, and you have fulfilled your brief.
Thank you
as
very
ever,
much.
Ruth, as ever, because as I said before, when you become a parent and when you start adding on to your shop, you look for really good reds. I really like wine. I don't just go, I need to take the edge off the day, although that does happen. I'm not going to lie. I do look for particularly reds that I enjoy. So this
Ideal for you.
is ideal for me, but I'm going to say I think you surpassed yourself here.
Thank you very much.
You did set the bar quite high, so well done.
Thanks, Zena.
Thank you, Ruth Wiles of Clifton Wine School, as ever. See you next week. We'll have more from Ruth Wiles, and we'll have more potty talk, and we'll have more celebs. See you then.